2 5-stars and 1 do your worst video. The squeal I squalled. That's talent. I get the hype.
Joey made chili!
What's up, it's Jan back at it again with another nerdy bookish video. Welcome to episode 7 of Do Your Worst. Hi, can you guess? Can you guess who the guest is this month? I guess not a guest, just like the featured creator. Sid from Sid Bookworm, baby. It's like past 10 p.m. I should be in bed by now, but instead here we are, introing this because I want to be ready to just read tomorrow at hopefully 5 a.m. If you're new here, this is my series called Do Your Worst that I started this year. We're 7 episodes in now. That's pretty wild. This is where I choose a friend who ideally has opposite taste as me. I think I'm gonna have to shift to just like friends in general eventually, because I'm running out of friends who have opposite taste than me. Eventually I'm just gonna have to find books that we disagree on and then call that opposite taste. I don't know. Anyway, Sid and I notoriously have had different tastes for a while. I think this year and last year have been the years that we've agreed on the most, at least from the ones I've seen and the ones we've talked about. I've met Sid in person and she is exactly what you would expect based on her videos. She is the ultimate freaking sweetheart. I love her music taste, her look, her vibe. She is just one of the kindest people I know. I'm gonna tell you her qualifications for this episode in a sec because I have done my research, baby. Also in these Do Your Worst episodes, I do a little like challenge for myself that like reflect the friend's brand one way or another. I'm wearing her merch first and foremost. I think for this one, I'm gonna go thrifting at some point, and I think I've decided I'm gonna make this a 4-day vlog and try to challenge myself to read for 6 hours a day or just 24 hours in 4 days, because Sid is also an ICU nurse. She told me she works about 24 hours a week. So I decided to incorporate that in these like challenges because I didn't want to make this just a 24-hour readathon because my TBR for this is not conducive to a 24-hour readathon. But it was a thought. I'm gonna listen to the story so far because that is our band, okay? We have bonded through that band many a time. I'm gonna try to wear green as much as possible. Actually, I don't know if I will because I also told my manager I'd wear spooky stuff all of October and it's like a challenge for that now. Oh, also, this is perfect because I put in my notes to get nerds clusters and I got some today actually because I got my COVID shot and my flu shot and I treated myself to this sweet little treat. I didn't even plan that because this is like Sid's favorite snack ever. I was like, yeah, that's perfect because I love them too now. She also does a spin the bottle TBR, which I love watching. I usually don't watch a lot of TBR videos, but I love hers, and I'm trying to figure out a way to do a spin the bottle situation, but I already have my 3 books that I want to read. I don't know what I'm gonna do about that, but okay, her qualifications. The ones we agree on are Comfort Me with Apples, You Shouldn't Have Come Here, Before the Coffee Gets Cold, Where'd You Go, Bernadette. That's like an agree, but like negative reviews. Oh, and Carrie Soto. Carrie Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid and A Deadly Education. We agree on negatively. I don't think I wrote anything down where we agree on positively, so that's awkward. I'm trying to think if we talked about anything recently. I know we also disagreed on The Unmothers by Leslie J. Anderson because I DNF'd it and we were on a live show together and she ended up loving it. So our differences, I loved Nature of Witches, gave it 5 stars. She gave it 2 stars. She loved The Unmaking of June Farrow. I gave it 2 stars. She gave Love Light Farms 2 stars and I surprisingly gave it 5, and that's a Christmas romance, which I never really pick up usually. She loves high fantasy and I just don't have the brain capacity for like high epic fantasy yet. I want to get there eventually, but I feel like it's gonna take years and years. I do like fantasy, just not super complex worlds, and she loves like tomes, like bricks of fantasy books. And then we also disagreed on Yellowface, What Moves the Dead, and Home Before Dark. I believe she didn't like, or she 3-starred most, if not all of those. And I believe I 5-starred all of them. Yeah, okay. And so, yeah, really quickly, I'm just gonna go through my TBR because I'm like losing steam. I did my extensive research, watched her worst books of the year videos for like the past 3 years or whatever. I asked her also specifically if she had any recent disappointments from this year that she could think of that might not be on Goodreads yet. I also searched her Goodreads and sorted it by rating and compared to my Goodreads. I did a lot, okay? I do that for every video. And it's kind of fun, to be honest, to see how our ratings compare. But first, I'm gonna finally get to The Familiar, which is on my 24 for 2024, and I did start this. I'm like 9 pages in. The audiobook expires in 4 days, so I'm gonna follow along with this. That's why I stopped in the first place, because I didn't have time to follow along and I wanted to annotate. So I'll be reading this first and check it off that 24 for 2024, so that's gonna be exciting. This is the one that Sid told me via DMs that she was disappointed by this year. Misery by Stephen King. thing was on my hopefuls list for last month, but then I didn't get to it and I was like, oh my god, perfect. Sid gave it 2 stars. So this was based on Goodreads. And then on one of her worst books of the year video, I can't remember which year, she put A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson on there. And I know everyone and their mamas has read this already, but here I am. I think she gave it a low 3 or like a disappointing 3. She just like doesn't get the hype.
Everyone loves this book. And for what? This isn't a bad book. I think I gave it 3 stars, but it is so overhyped. I knew where it was going. The pure fact that this book revolved around our main character doing a school project on a past student who got murdered, and she was trying to clear the name of the person who everyone thinks it is. I just know for a fact that that would not have flown in any high school. And I know that she presented the idea of the project to her teacher in a different manner to where it sounded a little bit more conspicuous. It doesn't matter. I don't care. I genuinely don't think that this would have been able to happen in anywhere. Like, what teacher would allow anything, any school project revolving around a dead classmate? Like, it doesn't make sense. That was a huge thing for me. I just like couldn't get past it, which is silly.
And I feel like I'm gonna be in the same boat with this one, but I feel like I'm gonna like these 2 more than her. This one I'm iffy about because I don't really like YA thrillers, but we shall see because everyone seems to love this. I kind of want to watch the show too. Y'all have heard of all 3 of these. They're so popular, so I'm not going to say a synopsis right now. Plus I already talked about these in my October TBR, which I'll link down below because it was my first TBR video in over a year and a half. Those have already been talked about, so I'll just keep y'all updated as I read, as reading vlogs go. But yeah, I'll be starting The Familiar. I'll probably start it over because it's only 1 chapter. I'm going to try to get up at 5 a.m. because that's what I do. My 5 to 9 before my 9 to 5 is what I call it, you know? I just love that phrase. Ever since I came across it, I don't know where I came across it. I think it was Instagram. I was like, yeah, I'm using that every fucking day of my life. I have high hopes for this one. I loved 9000 Hellbent, so that's it. That is all, I think, for intros for these episodes. I hope you enjoy this vlog. I hope you're still enjoying this series. Thank you so much for sticking around and giving me so much hype and love for the series, and giving me the motivation to continue. I'm pretty proud of this one. I will talk to y'all tomorrow when I have a reading update on The Familiar. Hello, good morning. I called off work because I do not feel well after this COVID shot and flu shot. I'm just like in pain, not fully myself. I also forgot to take my folic acid, which like helps with my immune system after I take my other arthritis meds. So that's probably kind of why I'm like a little bit stuffy. And yeah, so I called off. I'm just taking it easy today. I got to page 52 of The Familiar and I'm really liking the short chapters, but I'm also liking the audiobook and just the story itself with all the magic and learning more and more about our main character's ability. She's basically Belle from Beauty and the Beast because she wants, you know, to get out of this provincial life. She wants to see more of the world, do more for herself because she is a woman in this like restricted society, just trying to get out of this town and convincing like the higher ups that she's worth more. So she's like showing off her magic and what she can do. There are some shitty characters in this. They're so rude to her. She's just like a servant for this, I don't know, queen. It's hard to read sometimes, but it's really good. The writing is really good. I think I'm gonna love this, actually. I did ask Sid what she didn't like specifically about this. Let's see if she responded. Oh, also, if you notice, the timer says 5 hours and 50 minutes on top. It's because I forgot I was doing the timer thing and I read for like 10 minutes prior. So I read for about an hour this morning. I'm gonna continue reading. I made coffee, and as some of y'all know who've seen previous episodes, I'm always intentional with like everything to try to match my featured friend's brand. The mug is no exception. I was like, what the hell do I do for Sid? Like, I don't have anything greenhouse themed. I have a mushroom one, but I use that for Steph's episode. And then in the back of my little mug cabinet, I saw this one. And I thought it said be kind, but it says just be yourself. But on the back, there's just one little bee. If you know Sid and her Patreon, she has this inside joke thing relating to the Bee movie. So I was like, yep, this is perfect. They like watched it together as a Patreon. She has merch that says you like jazz. It's just perfect. I'm so proud of of this choice. Let's see if Sid responded. She has not yet, but that's okay. I'm gonna continue reading. I'll start the timer. I'll probably update at around page 100. I think I'm just gonna stick with this one until I finish it. I'm not gonna jump around books. I think Misery and A Good Girl's Guide to Murder I'll switch off because they're so different. Age range wise too, they're different. Plus the audiobook is due in like 3 days. So I'm excited. I'm so glad I'm finally getting to this. And it's a book of the month book, which means I can check it off the book of the month challenge thing and be one more book closer to getting my Reading is Sexy hat for the book of the month challenge prize thing. Chapter 9, here we go.
What if the world had more of your smile? What if the wind could spread your love? What if your sweetness could reach everyone? There'd be no wars. Maybe the birds will sing about your heart. Maybe the trees will whisper the word. Maybe the sun will spread your joy to the ones who lost their hope.
Like hiding there
Okay,
because
here's another disagree because Sid gave this 5 stars. I gave it a low 3. Listen, it has been a day of quite literally nothing but reading and editing and snacking. But when I tell you that it's been so hard for me to peel my eyeballs and my earballs from this book, like I literally held my pee for like an hour. So I figured I'd just update now since I did cave and go to the bathroom. I also spilled coffee on this nice white shirt. So that was another sign that I probably should stop and, I don't know, update, I guess. But I also have a Sid update. Joey and I have been calling this my Sidio video, Sidio. Yeah, I'm gonna copyright that. Okay, so I asked Sid earlier, like I said, she wanted to make it clear that this was not a book she hated, it was just a disappointment. But then upon further reflection, while she was explaining to me what she didn't like about the book, she ended the message with, maybe this is a 2-star instead of a 3. So either way it qualifies, right? But she said, it is definitely super subpar for me. I think the premise is confusing, being called the familiar, the cover looking so like a vampire, and vampires not being in it at all. I feel like the magic system was really unexplained and not in a way that was fun. There was only one scene that got me excited. Other than that, it felt like such a drag. I hated the romance. I think it came out of absolutely nowhere and didn't make sense. Okay, well, she probably went into it blindly because I did not expect vampires whatsoever. If I did, I would have read this a lot earlier in the year. But I could see why the cover has vampy vibes. The title also kind of, you know, has that supernatural element. I still don't really know what the familiar means, and I'm currently 150 pages in exactly. But I went into this knowing it's like a historical fantasy, and I've watched reviews. I don't know how early she read this book in relation to when it came out and whatever, but since it came out, I have watched a bunch of vlogs and seen a lot of reviews on this book, so I had expectations. The magic system, I agree with. I've heard that from several of my friends who have read this book, that the magic system is not too well explained, which is honestly for me fine. Like I said, I have a BB brain when it comes to fantasy books, right? And a lot of other things, but we're talking about fantasy here. I am not one who needs all the background info. If anything, that confuses me more. Like if we're just thrown into a world, sometimes I am wondering like, okay, how did this come about? Why does she even have powers, etc. But when it comes to something that's like as atmospheric as this and has a lot of other elements that I'm enjoying, how the magic system is explained is not a crucial thing for me to know. And I'm assuming some things are going to be more explained, but I really don't need the prequel information, if you will. So that's a difference between Sid and I. And then the romance, that's the biggest thing that I disagree with because I'm loving the romance, okay? It's like very subtle, and to me personally it feels like a slow burn romance because it's like these little subtle gestures and they're not verbally saying much, like they're not flirting with each other outwardly, it's just all in their heads. This one really got me. This is when I realized who the love interest is and that there was going to be a romance in here in the first place. Like this is when I started paying attention. On page 108, basically the guy is like hyping her up. He's like, who knows what you may do? And in Lucia's head, she goes, his belief in her was wine on an empty stomach and it left her lightheaded. Like, come on, that writing? Shut up. Later on, she says something about a bed. Oh, he's like trying to distract her from negative thoughts. So cute. It's so cute how he did this. He was just like, what would you do if you were rich? She says a lot of things, but first of all, she says, I would buy a great deal of books and buy myself a house to read them in and erect a high wall outside of the house so no one would bother me. And I'm like, if that's not me. That is me to a fucking T, my dude. She says something about having a very large bed. And in the guy's head, he goes, again, his brows rose and she hurried on before he could tell her not to speak of beds. I was like, oh, one more. Okay, this is the one. This is the one. I love a good jealousy scene. I don't know why. It's the toxic trait in me. Okay, I just love jealousy scenes in movies and books. Well, more in books. Movies, sometimes they're annoying, but also in real life, it's annoying. But in books, especially, oh my god. So he's just like thinking of Lucia, right? I don't really want to say the love interest because that might be a little bit of a spoiler, but we're just gonna keep saying he, him, okay? He's like wondering, like, did she have a lover? And why did the thought make him want to find this mysterious suitor and bury a knife in his heart? The squeal, I squalled. I love them. I love a slow burn. It's been so long since I've read a solid slow burn romance, especially in a fantasy where I'm like invested and I just love seeing the little things. God. Oh my god. I love this book. This may just be 5 stars. We'll see. We're almost halfway through. I've only had 1 star in... 1 star. I've only had 1 5-star throughout the past 6 episodes. I've only had 1 star. What? Oh my god, why do I keep saying that? I've only had 1 5-star. And that was We Hunt the Flame in my episode with Noelle from Noelle 7 Pages. And that's like the whole objective of this, you know, is to find favorites based on my friends' worst books because I choose friends, you know, strategically. Also, I did an episode with Gavin from Gavin Reads It All, and he also disliked this book. So, if nothing else, that's just further evidence that I'm gonna love this until the end. Ugh, fingers fucking crossed. I'm not mad, you're mad. But this is how summer people feel about fall decorations. Anyway, we're at Michael's because I need a mild liner. I need my copper, ow! I need my copper mild liner. I ran out of ink because the Familiar is too good. Oh, I think Kitty has that. I changed into this green ghosty crew neck because I said I'd try to wear green. And this is from Hellolovelybox. Use my code JustJan15. Want a bag of babies? Mixed limbs.
Mixed limbs?
What the fuck?
I know it crawls.
Sid loves crawling things and scary stuff. Actually, it's like her biggest fear. They don't have the color. I have a little bit of an unboxing / haul, but Michael's was a fail. I'm gonna have to like order the copper mild liner on Amazon, which is annoying. But I bought a gel pen and just like a felt tip, I think. I don't even know, but they were basically the same color, so I'm just gonna underline, I guess, from now on. But I do have a little bit of a haul. I got Rewitched by Lucy Jane Wood from Pango. I actually heard about this book last year and I put it on my wish list and I forgot about it until the final cover appeared on my wish list recently and I was like, oh yeah, I was interested in that. And it's like a cozy witchy book. It says, a warm and cozy debut novel, a burned out witch will need to turn to her friends and trust herself to find the magic in her own life again. Her name is Belladonna Blackthorn. That's just like, it like flows, you know? I will be reading that when I'm in the cozy witchy mood. I also have this little bookmark haul influenced by one of my patrons, a Stilby. I forgot what the Etsy shop is called. I think it's called like Dark Veinlet or something like that. But there are these transparent bookmarks. Hey, so like when you put it in a book, you could see the words through. They're so cute. So I have this ghost one. Ooh, the lighting just changed. Sorry. I have this upside down bat one. Oh, you could see it against my door. And then this coffin one that says, I have crossed oceans of time to find you. And it's a Dracula quote. So obviously needed that. And then we have my Aardvark box. If you didn't know, I'm a rep for Aardvark and I love them so much. They're one of my favorite companies I've ever worked with. I do have a discount code. You could use the code JAN, J-A-N, to get your first box for $4 and free shipping, which saves you a decent amount of money. Basically, it's $17.99 a month, and then taxes depend on where you live. Each add-on is $9.99. Brand new, hardcover, new releases. Let us begin. So it's their 2-year anniversary, and they have these holographic bookmarks, and they're like sturdy. And there's actually plastic on both sides, so it's even shinier than what this looks like. And this is just in October, I believe. So if you sign up this month, then you can get a holographic bookmark. And I'm so happy that I got one. It says 2 years, fresh ears. And it's literally like that's not breaking, that's not ripping, tearing, whatever. Like, so exciting. In this box, I got The City of Glass by Nevo, and I've read Nevo before several times. I've read Siren Queen. I've also read The Empress of Salt and Fortune and the second one to that series. I think it's When the Tiger Came Down the Mountain, ? And honestly, their writing is a bit confusing, but I'm gonna keep trying because they have shorty patorty books. This one sounds really good. It says, a demon, an angel, a city. Together they unearth the past of the lost city and begin to shape its future. But when war threatens Azrael and everything they've built, Vitrine and her angel must decide whether they will let the city fall again. It's a brilliantly constructed history and an epic love story of death and resurrection, memory and transformation, redemption and desire, strong enough to reduce the world to ashes and remake it anew. Hopefully I like this one more than all the other ones I've read. My second pick, one of the patrons I always mention, Tiffany, said that she loved this one and it's so fucked up. It's called Where I End by Sophie White, and I saw something about a baby and I was like, but then I heard Tiffany raving over it, so I was like, yeah, okay. Again, it's short. I think the chapters are short too. A modern gothic horror novel of a young woman who falls into a dark obsession after an artist and her baby enter her life. Don't know what that means. I think there's also a toxic mother-daughter relationship, but yeah, I have no idea. I kind of want to go into this blindly. I just love how like simple and like subtle this like ombre in the letters is. I love how simple the cover is. And then this one I'm probably the most excited for, This Cursed House by Del Sandine. It says, Some Things Are Best Left Buried. This is a gorgeous cover. I love red on a grayscale background, and it's a southern gothic about the cruelty of family secrets and the many different ways we can be cursed. This house is full of ghosts, but it's the people who are truly haunting, and it's a debut by a Black author. Ooh, she is gorgeous. I'm so excited for this. I was considering doing a haunted house vlog because I have a couple arcs that I've been asked to review, so maybe. No promises that it'll happen in October though. That is all for this little haul. You'll hear all that again in my October book haul, I'm sure, or September one, depending on if I combine them. I am gonna sit my booty down while Joey makes, wait for it, chili. It's chili season, baby. So that's happening. I'm gonna sit my booty down on a chair somewhere and continue reading The Familiar. I have about 3 hours and 2 minutes, I think, of my 6 hours left, and I think I have about the same time for the audiobook, maybe a little more than that. So let's get crack-a-lackin'. I am enjoying the fuck out of The Familiar. We just found out what The Familiar means. I think we're just about to start the trials and shit, so let's do it. Joey made chili! Season is back! Woo, woo, woo! I look actually hideous, but I just want to come on here real quick. I don't know if I'm gonna do my full review. Maybe I'll continue tomorrow, but I finished The Familiar and I finished my 6 hours right on time. It was almost to a T. I think it was like a 2-minute difference between finishing this book and my alarm going off, so that was pretty rad. Say hello to my second 5-star of Do Your Worst episodes. Oh my god. I would do the hype button right now, but it's almost 11 p.m. and I'm not about to do that. But holy shit. Let me just start by saying this is like Addie LaRue meets Sorcery of Thorns. It just has a lot of things I love. The stuff I loved happens after we get explanations on what The Familiar means, who is involved, and whatever. But basically, it reminds me of Addie LaRue in somewhat the writing, the atmospheric writing, and some lyrical quotes. But also, we follow this woman who wants to live a fuller life for herself. Like, she doesn't want to be tied to this patriarchal society and these expectations just because she's a woman and whatever. She's a servant for this queen. The ending of this book was just perfect. The trials and the little twists within those trials and all the characters she meets along the way. The romance, stellar. And there's this one trope that I love in books that is a spoiler, so I'm not gonna say what it is, but it's also a trope in Addie LaRue, so that's all I'm gonna say. I wasn't expecting to love this as much as I did, because if I knew that it was gonna give me Addie LaRue vibes, I would have read this months ago. Oh my god. do I buy a second copy? Because I do like the one with the black sprayed edges and like the foiling and stuff, but I'm just gonna like save it for later, save the notion for later, and I'll maybe treat myself if I ever need like free shipping or something, because I love this and it's going on my favorite shelf and I would love a prettier edition. Oh my god, it's only $18 now. What? That's like 40% off. Crazy. Okay. I don't even know what to say. There was just so much that went on. Not gonna lie, I zoned out a little bit because I was falling asleep because I have just been exhausted towards the end, like the last quarter of the book before all the intense moments happened. But I still got the gist of it and I will definitely be rereading this at some point because I know how much I missed. I also don't like this copy because I ran out of ink for that copper highlighter and I ended up underlining the rest and it's not cohesive. But I tabbed a shit ton. I need to find a fun fact on scorpions. I feel like I can't say much more anyway. I feel like that was my full review because I don't want to give too much away. It's historical fantasy. A lot of people are saying, oh, I already talked about what people's gripes are, so what am I talking about? I think I did scorpion fun facts before, for sure, but I don't think I've done all of these. I think I said like 1 or 2 fun facts. They dance before mating. Scorpions lock claws and perform an elaborate dance called Promenade à deux to impress each other. They also have long lifespans. They can live up to 10 years in the wild and around 25 years in captivity. Damn! Do they have like scorpion years though? You know how like cat years, dog years, do they have scorpion years? I don't know. Wait, there are so many fun facts about them. I think I said they can glow last time. Hold on, they're older than dinosaurs? Shut the fuck up. Shut the actual fuck up. They're ancient. Scorpions first appeared on land about 400 million years ago, long before dinosaurs. That's insane. Isn't it? Did you know that already? That's fucking wild. I wonder what they looked like before, like how they've evolved. That's insane. That's cool.
Aren't they considered arachnids?
Now I kind of want a scorpion tattoo. But then it just reminds me of Scorpios, and I've dated a Scorpio. We both dated Scorpios that suck.
She's a raging fucking bitch.
Anyway, okay.
You're a Scorpio. Sorry. What? What?
Nothing. Good night. Sorry for this appearance. Talking about one of my new favorite books of all time. Ugh, I hate that. I wish I could just redo this entire clip looking better, but I love this. Say it with me now. It might be on my top 10 of the year. That's gonna be a contender. I can't believe I binged this in one day. It was like 379 pages. Wild. Okay, tomorrow I'm gonna start A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Hopefully Misery I can tackle most of on Wednesday. Okay, I need to go to sleep because if I have to read 6 hours tomorrow and I have work from 9 to 5, we're gonna have an issue. But I don't have audiobooks for the other 2 books, so I'm kind of fucked. Like I can't even have the timer going while I'm driving because I don't have audiobooks. Great. Okay, I need to get up when the dawn's ass is cracked because I've got reading to do. So good night. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the familiar. Oh my god, give me 10 copies.
You fill my head with roses. I can't help but dream away.
Good motherfucking morning to me because this says ready to borrow. I'm fucking screaming. Perfect. Hi. We are quite a bit into A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. As I said earlier, the library gods were on my side and gave me the audiobook, even though it was a several weeks wait when I placed a hold and all of a sudden it just became available. This has happened several times in the past when I'm on a time crunch type of challenge video. Sometimes you gotta manifest and then it just happens, you know? Anyway, I'm 24% in chapter 11. I read 56 pages physically this morning, then listened to it on my drive to work. Y'all aren't wrong when you say this is addictive as shit. I'm actually looking forward to like listening to this throughout the workday as much as I can, and it's actually kind of funny. Not obviously like the deaths and shit, but like there's some good one-liners from her dad or like her banter with Ravi. This is about this girl who has a senior capstone project, so this big end of the year project, whatever. She decides to take the opportunity to investigate this murder of her friend's, well, he was kind of her friend. I don't know. This dude, Sal, or yeah, was it her friend, Andy? I can't remember. But there was this girl, Andy, who got murdered. Her boyfriend, Sal, is accused of it. There's something that happens that kind of makes the case a lot more complicated and really makes him look guilty. But I'm not going to spoil that for y'all, even though it's way in the beginning. It was shocking to me. So the mixed media in this makes it really engaging, especially in the audiobook. It does have those effects like when they're on an interview or like it's a recording or on the phone. It's really well done. I'm impressed. I don't know if it's going to be 5 stars because there is that factor of having to suspend your disbelief because like, come on, she's 17. These people are not going to give her the time of day to like provide all this evidence. If a 17-year-old contacted me asking about, well, I guess it'd be different if it involved a murder. I don't know. But if a 17-year-old asked me to help with a school project, I'd be like, I'm too busy. I don't have time to talk to you on the phone for an hour and like help you with your amateur sleuthing, you know? But if you disregard all that, it is engaging. So I could actually see myself continuing this series depending on how it ends, if it's a cliffhanger. This is weird that it's a YA thriller that I'm actually enjoying. I mean, again, I don't know if it's going to be 5 stars, but it could very well be a 4 from the looks of it right now, at least, which would be shocking to me. I am gonna move my bookmark and annotate some things because we did find more things out. She's pulling shit left and right and things are convenient, but I'm just gonna roll with it because that's how I'm gonna have a good time. You know? All right. We're at Goodwill. We're going thrift shopping. The goal is to find a men's flannel or any big flannel, to be honest, because I'm due for a new one. Hopefully I find Joey something as well because he deserves it. I'm hoping for like a patchy looking flannel, if that makes sense. Yeah, I have a vision. We'll see if we can find it.
With you, everything's moving slower. I don't know what it is you do. I've been looking at you all night, trying to figure you out. I just wanna make you smile. Hold your hand in my hand, looking at the sunset. Man, you're looking good tonight. I wanna kiss you before the sun goes down. It's what you're doing, making me feel like I'm falling.
Angle. We are now 180 pages through A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I have 2 hours and 50 minutes left out of my 6 hours for the day. I get the hype. I'm not gonna say it's like a groundbreaking book by any means. I just think that this is more well done than other YA thrillers that I've read because it's gripping and the formatting of it with the mixed media and everything really helps move the story along, and the humor and the banter work for me. I don't know how it's gonna end. I'm trying not to make too many predictions because I kind of just want to go with the flow, but also I have theories. But at the same time, there are all these like moving parts that keep getting added, so I don't really know what to think anymore. I can keep making guesses, but there's no way I'm gonna guess how people got away with certain things or whatever, so might as well just go with the flow. But I did go thrifting. My camera's dying though. I'm just gonna show y'all real quick. I got 2 flannels, one plain maroon thing that Joey didn't want, and then the sweater that y'all saw, and everything was $18. $18. I did that. Okay, I'm gonna charge this battery, I'm gonna read, and we're probably getting ice cream again later. I can't do it. I have 2 hours and 11 minutes left, and it's only 9 o'clock, but I am pooped, my dudes. Good news is, tomorrow's Wednesday. Y'all know what that means. If you don't, it's my day off. Which means I can roll it over. I never set rules, okay? I said at the end of the day, this is gonna be 24 hours. And I know some of y'all hate this method. If you start and stop the timer, it's a challenge for me. So tomorrow is gonna be a total of 8 hours and 11 minutes reading. All I have going on tomorrow is a doctor's appointment at 10:15. Otherwise, I just have some chores to do. I definitely wanna edit a bunch tomorrow. I'm not gonna film anything tomorrow. tomorrow besides this vlog, so we're gonna read. I'm gonna finish Good Girl's Guide to Murder, hopefully before my doctor's appointment, or on my way to my doctor's appointment would be the last time I listen to it, or on my way back, I guess. And then we're gonna start Misery. Hopefully be able to finish that in like 2 days as well. That'd be grand. That would be quite the success. Hi, good morning. It is Wednesday, my dudes. That's kind of like my catchphrase now. I don't know where it came from, but it's here to stay. But hi, I finished the second book of this vlog and the third 5-star of this series. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? Sorry if you could hear outside noise, by the way, my balcony door is open. But my sprint alarm, I'm doing all day Discord sprints with my patrons once again. I'm so shocked. I guessed one thing pretty early in the beginning. I guessed one thing. I thought it was gonna be this other super wild thing. It wasn't. And I was shocked. Fully shocked. You think you know what's happening, and then bam, she did it. Y'all were right. I'm impressed by Holly Jackson. I already have the second book on Libby via audio. I contemplated buying it, the rest of the trilogy, but I was like, nah, I don't need to. Realistically, am I gonna reread those? Probably not. Am I gonna reread this? Also probably not, but I am gonna keep it because it's a gift and it's 5 stars, so I'm gonna keep it on my shelf. Wow, I don't even know what to say. The twists were definitely well done. I thought about giving it a 4 because I'm like, usually my 5-star thrillers are only if I guess absolutely nothing, but there was enough at the end, and it wasn't like rushed. I feel like the ending had a lot of reveals at once, but it didn't feel rushed. Like I said, you do have to suspend your disbelief because she received a lot of information as a young girl from people who would not do that in real life. And there were quite a few conveniences. All in all, I'm fine with it. And I haven't been shocked by a thriller in quite a while. Don't remember the last time I've been shocked by a YA thriller. I'll tell you that much. There have been a couple that I like. Ooh, I can't remember the title. It has like 5 words in it. Is it like How We Fell Apart? Shit, I need to check. Oh my god, it is. No, I think the second one is the one I like, The Lies We Tell. Well, I don't know if it's the same series or anything. I can't remember, but I did like one of those. I did not like One of Us Is Lying, like at all. This one though, did it. Oh, also Truly Devious was okay, but everything after that, I think I read 2 or 3 more books after that and I was not into it. I'm happy with this, and I am definitely gonna try to convince Joey to at least start the show with me because I'm curious to see how they adapted it. I wonder if it's the whole trilogy in the show or is it just this book? I need to look that up. But another 5-star. Wow, 2 5 stars in one Do Your Worst video out of 7 episodes. That's wild. It's just Sid's magic. I am gonna go shower and get ready for this doctor's appointment. It's currently 9 a.m. and then when I get back, I'll do a couple things, probably eat lunch, whatever, and then I'll come back with an update about Misery because hopefully I've started it by then. I don't have an audiobook to listen to. I think I'm just gonna listen to music today. I was listening to The Story So Far last night, so I'm gonna continue to listen to The Story So Far on my way to the doctor and back since I just finished an audiobook / physical read. I annotated a lot in this, like, look at those tabs. The red tabs are the oh shit moments. Light pink for plot, dark pink for good writing. There was one quote that I really loved. I dog-eared it. Let me show you. But I realized something just now. It's not ambition, not entirely. It's fear. Because I don't know who I am when I'm not working, when I'm not focused on or totally consumed by a task. Who am I between the projects and the assignments when there's nothing to do? I haven't found her yet and it scares me. Hello, if that's not me. There were also some like wordplay, like punny jokes in this, which I loved. So I do have a light gray tab for funny, dark gray tab for trigger warnings. Oh, trigger warnings for animal death, suicide, self-harm, essay. That's all I can say without spoiling shit. Check trigger warnings for this. But yeah, cool. I will talk to y'all later. Oh, also I have 15 minutes left from yesterday's time and then I have to start it over. So I'll do that at some point. Also, I'm wearing my I closed my book to be here hoodie because that's precisely what I did. I hope everyone in this doctor's office feels bad. Just kidding. I can't get over the fact that I gave that 5 stars because that was a 3-star max in my head. Wow, 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 wow. I brought Misery with me. I usually don't have a long wait, but I could get a couple pages in. Yeah, okay. I don't know why I updated. I just wanted to show y'all my hoodie. I got it from Etsy. Okay, goodbye.
Yesterday, there was sun and there was rain, beauty in the mundane. And as the light startled our eyes, we let go of disguise. And now, there's something in the air, and a sparkly shimmer on our skin, restoring everything within. Oh, dreamy, breezy, we go. Easy, easy on our tiptoes, undercover agents of the other. Beyond gravel, beyond all. Hand in hand, building castles out of sand, reaching for the grand.
I'm loving having my desk in the bedroom. Let me just say, this was a great decision. I am now in the mood to redecorate certain things and like get frames for things we have been needing frames for, and just like rearranging stuff and putting things in the storage locker that we have that are just like chilling. I'm just in the mood. Just wanted to update before my last sprint of the day ends in like 2 minutes. I made it 56 pages into Misery. I feel like I got to a really good stopping point for now. Pausing point. This is literally right when Annie tells Paul what she wants from him. I mean, if you know the story, you know what I'm talking about. But I was just waiting for that moment. The chapter ended right when she told him what she wants and brought him the thing to do the task with, if that makes sense. I don't know how much you're supposed to say about Stephen King. I mean, I would have been mad if someone told... I mean, I guess I knew the premise of this. I'm just gonna say it. We start the book off with Paul being held captive by Annie Wilkes. We find out that his car is somewhere in the snow. He got in an accident. His legs are just like shattered. He doesn't know how it happened. He's like all drugged up. Annie comes in the room and tells him basically what's going on. Now he's in this situation. Oh, there's my sprint alarm. Now he's in this situation where he is in this room in captivity. He's a famous author. Annie Wilkes is his #1 fan. She wants him to write the next book in this Misery series. It's basically torture. So if you're not into that, don't read this. I'm excited to finally be in the know with this book and have another Stephen King under my belt. I don't think I've said in this vlog yet, but I've only read Carrie, The Shining. I think that's it. And I have a stack of Stephen King books in my collection that I would love to get to. I think after this one, I want to tackle Salem's Lot or Gerald's Game. Probably Salem's Lot. Gerald's Game, I want to watch the movie for. Salem's Lot movie just came out, but I don't even have HBO Max, so that's why I'm leaning towards Gerald's Game. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. It's really easy to get hooked and engaged in this story. Like, I wanted to stop at page 50. First of all, that's in the middle of a chapter, which is fine with me. I stop mid-sentence in books sometimes to update vlogs. Yeah, this was the perfect stopping point, page 56. This is also like the 1987 edition or something like that. I'm really not sure. But yeah, if you were wondering which edition I have, I got it for like $15 at Half Price Books. So yeah, I'm really liking it. I don't know if it'll be 5 stars, but oh my god, I will shit. I will shit if all 3 of these books are 5 stars, because I never thought that would happen for a Do Your Worst episode. I think I'm gonna do dishes now. I've been watching Kat Karras, who I've been watching for years, like pre-booktube I've been watching watching her. I've been watching her type of videos and then other channels that are like mostly B-roll vlogs. So then I have it full screen so I could kind of watch it in my periphery and I just hear the piano music and it's so relaxing. It's been such a vibe. That and then alternating with Halloween lo-fi. It's been a good day, y'all. Other than the 6 vials of blood that were taken from me at the doctor today, it's been a stellar, chill day. I haven't done a damn chore other than a couple things, but I'm gonna go do dishes so Joey comes home to a nice kitchen sink. It's 10 p.m. A lot has happened, kind of. Went to the forest preserve, took a long walk, had dinner, watched some of this movie called Intrusion, and then I was like, I really gotta read. And now I'm 150 pages into Misery. Never in a million years would I have thought I could binge 150 pages in a day of a Stephen King book. Are you kidding me? It's really good. It's really fucking good. Listen, depending on how it ends, it could be a 5-star, but I have a strong feeling it'll just be a 4. As much as I would love a 5-star streak throughout an entire video, I don't think this would be a 5 just because, you know, Stephen King has those pages and pages of just what sounds like nonsense in my head, but I know it's like for a purpose. I just don't have the energy nor brain capacity to figure out the purpose. There's like parentheses. This happened in Carrie too. There's like all these parentheses and italics and just passages of stream of consciousness that takes you out of the story. Well, me personally at least. But I have laughed countless times. It's just so ridiculous. It's funny. There are also so many lines that are just written so well for no reason. Like, let me try to turn to a page. He's talking about the typewriter and him typing at 11 o'clock. It says, individual clacks followed by spaces of silence, some as long as 15 seconds. It was the aural, A-U-R-A-L, aural equivalent of an island archipelago seen from the air, a chain of low humps broken by broad swaths of blue. Like, he just compared a sound to a sight. That's talent. That is freaking talent. Some of these analogies are really fucking good. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it a lot more than I anticipated, to be honest. I mean, I expected to like it. I just didn't think I would fly through these pages. I thought it would drag because Carrie and The Shining dragged for me. Carrie is pretty short, but I still didn't read it in one sitting. And then The Shining took me like weeks. So this is wild. This gives me hope that I'll actually finish this tomorrow and then Joey and I can watch the movie this weekend. Oh, there is this like 30 pages of book excerpt, which I get is a little bit necessary, but I'm coming to realize, I was just talking to one of my patrons today in the Discord, that I don't really like that in books. One of the book series that stand out to me with book excerpts that I just can remember off the top of my head is the Bromance Book Club. They like put excerpts from romance books that the Bromance Book Club was reading. Couldn't get into it. It took me out of the story. It's just not for me. I mean, here it was like quick to read because it's in this widely spaced typewriter font, so that was nice. It's pretty cool because it looks handwritten, all the N's. The letter N's, because the N on the typewriter is broken, so that's a nice touch. I think they should have wrote in the 2 N's in Stephen King on the cover. I think that would have been clever, but alas, they did not. They did the classic Stephen King font. Now I want some Stephen King merch. Is that weird? Okay, I'm gonna go. I have less than an hour left of the 6 hours, so according to this, I am supposed to end at exactly 11 p.m. I'm going to try to not carry over anything for tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be tough because I need to get up at 5. But if I end at 11, I'm not going to be able to sleep until like midnight. But if I get up at 5 tomorrow, I might be able to do the full 6 hours. This might not even take me the full 6 hours if I keep reading at this rate. But I also kind of want to get my nails done. I haven't got my nails done since like July, I think. I'm going to keep reading so I don't extend my time even more. Toodaloo. I'll update tonight if there's something crazy that happens. If not, tomorrow it is. Also, Paul in this book, it's kind of impressive how good of a gaslighter he is. That's all I'm going to say. Hi, it has been a fucking day. Okay, I had to go to urgent care today, but I went back to work. I went during my lunch break. Everything was fine. It was kind of a waste of time. I could have gotten the same answers from Google, which I did, but whatever. I have peace of mind. I was able to confirm things. They'll probably still charge me for the 5 minutes that I was in there, but whatever. Anyway, I have 40 pages left of misery. I think I'm gonna get my nails done after work. I also have to pick up my meds from Walgreens because I have to take those today. And then we're gonna go to my mom's for dinner because she's going on a trip tomorrow. So she wanted to make us some Filipino spaghetti. But yeah, that's what my night's gonna look like. 40 pages of The Shining. Misery will probably take me less than an hour, which means I'll have about 2 hours left on this 24-hour timer, and honestly, I'm just gonna call it quits after that because I read 3 books in this vlog, 3 books in 4 days. Today's the 4th day, so that's pretty fucking good, and I am just too excited to start my next vlog because it's a new series on my channel, so look out for that. Just excited for like the whole thing because I love using my spinner wheel. So there's that little hint. I don't know. I've already committed to it, so I don't know why I'm like delaying it, but I just don't want to spew it out into the universe just yet until I'm actually doing it, you know? My patrons know, at least the ones in the Discord, so. The whole spoiling my videos thing, I'm over that. Like, who am I to be like, go watch this video to see my rating, whatever. No, like, I have been sharing all the books I've been reading for this vlog on Instagram. I've been sharing all my ratings. My vlogs are just for my full thoughts, you know? And the vibes. I've been really bad about the vibes in my vlogs though. I feel like, I don't know, maybe I'm just like so used to spooky things. I don't really realize if I'm doing well or not with providing the spooky vibes. Anyway, I am way off. Okay, I have read, where did I stop last night? I think I stopped at like 170 or something. And then this morning, I got up at 5. I read to page 212 or something like that. I was in part 2 already. I still haven't hit part 3. I think it's like the last 5 pages of the book. It's getting wild. The lawnmower scene, hello. Yeah, Annie Wilkes is unhinged, just as much as people say she is. I'm here for it, honestly. I also have to read y'all Sid's message to me as to why she didn't like this book because I couldn't find video footage for it. So I'll read that to y'all later. But I mean, she has good reasoning for it. And I agree with one of the things she said, I think, just because the other thing she said I can't relate to because it involves like nurse stuff. Anyway, I'll say that all later when I'm back home. I hope I remember. I also have to remember to do a fun fact on this as well as a good girl's guide to murder. I'm gonna write that down right now so I don't forget, but I'll talk to y'all when I get home. We did it, Joe. We fucking did it. And we had over an hour and a half to spare for the 24 hours. And I know the point was to read for 24 hours, but the fact that I finished 3 books under that in a span of 4 days, even 3 books in 4 days in general, deserves a pat on the back, gold star, chocolate chip cookie. You know what I mean? As predicted, I'm giving this 4 stars. There was a lull, and there were definitely those pages that are Stephen King-esque. Some of them were funny. There was one part where he was just freaking out about Annie. It was in his head, but it was just like rambling. It was like, you better not pout, you better not cry, you better not scream. I don't know how to explain it, but if you've read Stephen King before, you know what I mean with pages of it feels like nonsense. And again, I'm sure there's a reason for it, but at that point, I'm just here for the crazy Annie Wilkes parts. The ending was really good. First, let's do the fun fact about A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, because I forgot. So I looked up fun facts about red string, and as I anticipated, it came up with all these like, meanings of red string in different cultures. In Judaism, apparently it's associated with something, the custom of wearing a red string. Oh, I knew this one, the Chinese culture one. The lunar matchmaker god Yu Lao believed that people are destined to marry their soulmates through a red thread attached to their ankles at birth. The red string in the British Royal Navy, also known as the rogue's yarn. It's a practice of inserting a colored thread into rope to mark it as their own. Madonna made red string bracelets famous. Next, I'm gonna read y'all Sid's message to me about why she didn't like Misery, okay? As I said, the whole reason why I did the 24-hour thing is because she's an ICU nurse who works about 24 to 26 hours a week. And she said, I avoid books with nurses nurses, and the fact that she was this type of nurse, quote unquote, was just the worst, to be honest. I hated the way it made me feel, which was awful and physically dirty. I also hated the breaks in the story where we read what the MC was writing. I found that tedious and pointless and skimmed. That I agree with, because like I said, with the whole excerpts within books thing, like unless it's adding more to the story, which I don't think this did, after that first big like 30-page chunk, I thought they were going to do something with it, but when I realized they weren't, I skimmed the other excerpts. There was one written in cursive because something happened with a typewriter, and yeah, I was just like, I'm not even straining my eyes to read this. And then she said, now I've said this before and I'll say it again, maybe I should have rated this book higher because it obviously did what it said up to do, which was making me feel awful, and the fact it took place in predominantly one room was impressive, but I just couldn't rate it any higher because I just had such a horrible reading experience. Honestly, with Stephen King, it's very easy to have a horrible reading experience, especially if you don't like this type of horror. Sid and I have very different types of horror, I feel like. I don't think she reads too much horror, and if she does, it's like the weird lit fic type of horror, which I also love. She doesn't like the gory, triggering stuff, and this had a lot of that, but I've also read a decent amount of extreme horror at this point, so I've kind of gotten desensitized to that stuff, and honestly, some books, those parts are like the most entertaining, interesting parts. That's kind of true for this too. Sid likes a very specific type of horror, which is fine. I can understand why she didn't like this, but I also like the type of horror she likes. I guess I just like all types of horror. Anyway, I don't know. Not all types of horror. I take that back. I don't know what I'm fucking saying. Oh, speaking of horror, there is the N-word once in this book, but still, it's still there. When authors do that for characters that are already shitty enough, like you can show a character is shitty in an infinite number of other ways. You don't need to use the N-word, especially as a white man. So that in and of itself docked a whole star basically, but also it's not 5 stars because of those parts that dragged and parts that were kind of unnecessary, in my opinion. I tabbed a lot. My jaw dropped for a lot of the scenes at the end, so I really enjoyed it, surprisingly. Never in a million years would I have thought that I could read a Stephen King book this fast, let alone with my fucking eyeballs. Like, I didn't use the audiobook at all. I couldn't. It was unavailable to me. That's pretty fucking wild. Let me know which Stephen King books read faster than others, because like The Shining took me way over a week to read. I think I already said that. I already said that for sure. Sorry. It's like 11 p.m. Oh, also the typewriter. Okay, so I guess this isn't really spoilery because it didn't do anything. At least I don't think. The letters N, E, and T all broke from the typewriter, and really missed opportunity because Stephen King has N's, E's, and a T that could have been like written in and it would have been all cool. I'm just gonna steal a fun fact that I kind of learned from here. Well, that reminded me of it because I feel like I knew this before I read this, but apparently the letter E is the most often used in the English language. And then of course, right after I read that, that's all I focused on for like a page and a half. And I was like, wow, I should be reading this book and internalizing this book, not looking for how many E's there are in every word. But yeah, wow, super successful. Most successful Do Your Worst episode. Sid wins for best worst books thus far. 2 out of 3 were 5 stars, and then the third was a 4-star. This experiment went really well, which is wild because we're such close friends, so it's just funny. I knew we had opposite tastes, but like in the past year especially, we've agreed on quite a bit, so I was not expecting this. So thank you, Sid, for working with me on this video. Sorry I'm like very out of it for this clip. I'm exhausted. I found a new favorite. With The Familiar. I can't believe I enjoyed a YA thriller. Oh, I didn't even tell y'all. I went straight into the audiobook for the second book. Not only did I enjoy a YA thriller, but like I'm continuing a series right away. I haven't done that since Folk of the Air trilogy when I did it for like a challenge video, which I mention a lot because I love that vlog. But I'm also enjoying the audiobook for Good Girl, Bad Blood. So yay, what a great episode. If you made it to the end of this video, what should we put? The scorpion. Let's put the scorpion emoji in the comments down below to represent one of my new favorite books, The Familiar. Thank you so much for watching. I hope y'all had a 5-star day. Don't forget to do some self-care, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.